Hey guys, it's Shannon with Apex Tarot, and yeah, I know I look like crap, but I'm fixing to, after I get these videos done, I'm fixing to clean my house, so I really don't care what it'll look like. And you guys know I'm very personable with you all, and I get on here and just be me, because I'm not superficial, and the Spirit has me show up sometimes like this for those who are, okay? So, but I'm not, and this is what you look like when you clean your house, okay? So I need to give it a good scrubbing today. I've been sitting here contemplating sharing something that the Spirit was running through my spirit, I don't know, for the last couple of days about the book of Joel, Joel. Well, I got on this channel before and talked about how Joseph will get out of prison. And against all odds and all that kind of stuff. And I've had all kinds of stuff happening with, you know, Joseph energy itself in the last year and a half, okay? And my brethren and people, you know, sold me into slavery, that kind of stuff that I've been talking about subconsciously. People are doing things that are still, it's coming back around and all that kind of stuff, okay? So don't get weird. Okay, but it's true, and it's spiritual, and it's playing out in the natural, and yet it's far out there, but yet it's here. Okay, it's foreign stuff. Okay, but it's also the truth, and it's prophecy, and it's all kinds of stuff playing out, like I just said, in the now moment that's happening now. I don't even know how to bring this out. But the Spirit, I got on here a couple days ago and talked about, or maybe it was on one of my offline videos. I believe so. I don't think I uploaded it. Which I don't know if it matters either way. People who watch me, obviously I'm a group of people that is in an organization who I guess I'm speaking to. Or whoever's got tabs on my phone. I really don't care. It's still going out energetically, and I understand how energy flows, and I understand how truth is. And you can't, I don't care who's got tabs on my phone. It goes out beyond that, because I serve the high God of the universe that knows how to get things across energetically than what people think that they can hold you back on. Anyway, that's beside the point. That's why I just show up and be me, and I just listen to the Spirit, and the Spirit says do this. The Spirit, when you obey what the Spirit within that knows all things, when you obey that, Spirit show up for you every time. And you get success in that. Regardless what it looks like or what moment. It's just like, oh my God, let me put makeup on. You tell me to get on here now. You gotta yield to the Spirit. Okay? The Spirit, man looks at the outside, the Spirit looks at the heart. Okay? But anyway, I had written down some, I got so much I want to say, I don't know how to get it all out, but I wrote down some cards that I have often used on this channel, and I had written down one day, Spirit said, write down everything that's stolen from you is going to be returned. Well, that's found in the book of Joel, okay, when he said that, and then we got the New Testaments in the book of Acts that prophesy about my sons and my daughters would prophesy, okay? And I told you guys how the Spirit had called me daughter, and then he took me through this process and showed me who I actually was and called me Jacob. And I've also heard him call me Rachel and Leah at the same time as well. I know what household I belong to. And I also know that Jacob's worm never dies, and so that's why we rise again, and all that kind of stuff. I also know that King David, it's written that he had a covenant with both El and Yah. Okay? And the Spirit began to talk to me, because we have other writings that talk about how Yisrael's first father did not want them. So they got adopted. And then we got writings in the New Testament that talk about, Paul himself talks about the adoption and being grafted in and stuff like that. Okay? And having inheritances and things like that. And for people not to get so boastful because of where they came from. Because just as much as he could graft somebody in, he could take it out. Because we serve the high God that knows everything and created everything and is the master magician of everything. People get in their mind that they're a master and a magician. And they can only do it to some degree, but the Spirit watches all of it. The deception, the emotions, and what's really down in the heart. Okay? Because to the pure, Those things are pure. Okay, so the Spirit began to take me to Joel. Not today, I was just thinking about it when this process started. But the last couple of days been talking to me about Joel and where, you know, my sons and daughters are going to prophesy. And I just literally took these cards that I was talking about where that is found, that I'm going to give you every single thing that has been stolen from you. And these cards came out. The reconciliation, which that has to do with the temperance energy, which came out my second tarot reading today. That is about reconciliation. The two cups that have been mixed and alchemized together. That would be, in another sense, to look at it, grafting something together. Okay, and reconciling things that once were taken out, now putting it back in. That's a reconciliation in itself. That's returning things and giving it right back. You can look at it in so many different metaphors as you want, okay? Sons and daughters itself came up because I was trying to weigh, well, okay, you're talking to me about this, Father, but do you want me to get on here and talk about it? And so I was compelled to take these cards, and that came out, and that's exactly found in Joel. And so you go, well, David had a covenant with both, so that's a mixing of two things together. That's an adoption happening as well. That's grafting somebody in and protecting them. That's why we got different prophecy books in the Old Testament as well. And the things also being talked about in the New Testament that can also confirm the Old Testament as well. But then you got two sides. You got the El and you got the Yah fighting against one another as well. But there is a group of people that has a covenant with both of those in the earth, and I am one of them. That's why I'm protected, and that's why I heard the Spirit say you're protected, baby girl. Because you have Joseph and El in you, Joel. I'm from both. The alchemizing of the two is within me and my brethren in the earth realm. And we're protected throughout eternity for that. Because we'll rise again every time. Because Jacob's worm never dies. At the same time, there are other worms and cankerworms. Everything that the cankerworm's stolen from you. There are a group of people. Because even Paul even talks about the Jews and the fables and things like that, because there are, and I'm not getting on to Jews, and that's why that 88 also keeps coming up, take you right back to Hitler stuff, because that'll also take you back to the Jews. But we also have writings in the New Testament in Revelations that said those who call themselves Jews, they're really not. Those are the cankerworms that have the title over them as a Jew. This stuff is deep, okay? And I know some people are like, what? Because it is foreign. But it is the truth. And all I can give you is bits and pieces about things that the Spirit gives me. And I know who I am. And He had me walk things out on purpose. Look, He told Isaiah, I put you into the earth to be a literal example in the earth. To play out literal things so that people can see it by their eyes, by looking at your whole process so that they could get it. It was like a living prophecy in itself. And that's exactly what has happened to me. Okay? And it's funny because I think Isaiah, they sawed him right into. What a disgrace. But now we're entering into a time of prophecy where the righteous is going to get their justice now. We're in a time of justice now. It keeps coming up. Everything stolen from you, baby girls, going, and all my brothers and sisters that are part of me, and those who aren't in that lineage, there's still a worldwide reconciliation back to the Father to be grafted in, because He looks down at every. I don't care what your lineage is. I don't care what color you are, but He had certain people put in the earth to teach. Not because somebody's better than somebody else, but to teach. Teachers. Don't send your damn kids to school if you don't want them to learn anything. Don't you realize that the Creator himself, who is spiritual, also has teachers in the earth? Anything that you're being taught is foreign because you don't know it until you learn it. We've got people so carnally minded they don't know how to tap into spiritual things. But now we're in a time of awakening. Are you going to still let the spiritual side of what I'm talking about, those who can keep up with me, that even though it's playing out in the natural, it's all spiritual because nothing exists in the natural without it first being spiritual? And it's all about the mind and the psychology of the mind, and that's what makes the person go to where they go. But somebody's got to get up in here and teach a thing. Because those lineages and those people are still in the earth today. They wrote down their lineage. At the same time, we've also got writings of people have been in war and they've changed things and nobody can prove anything. Oh, we've got to live by the Spirit and teach from that place. Sons and daughters shall prophesy. And I prophesy and things come to pass. And people get pissed off at that because they're forced to look in their own damn mirror and go, this I can't deny it, but we've done it this way for so long in our tradition. We can't let that come out here like that. And so then here comes the Spirit have to knock down pride. This stuff is like so huge. But yet we are in the time where they're rushing over the cities and into the wall. Great is the army that carries out his word. The word within, not the word that, the written word that's truthful, yes, but not words that men have written down and said, well, this is our culture. We have to test everything. There's lies and truth in everything. If you don't weigh it out and balance everything out, you're screwed. If you just look at something at face value and say, well, I don't look like what I think it should look like, and then later, like with me, then you find out the real truth, and then you really got to look in the mirror and go, God, now I got to look at me because I was in pride because I judged the thing too hasty. And then what do people do? They get in their pride and they murder and they kill in that. And the Spirit's saying, I'm saying enough is enough with that stuff. I put my people in the earth to be a living word. Living word. To be looked at as a prophecy in itself to teach you. And for it to also teach me. Because that energy is also teaching while you're learning and learning while you're teaching. So we're teaching one another. I am a daughter. Joseph comes from my lineage. Jacob. It was his second to the youngest son. Joe. My own mother's name was Joe. Just in that alone, just wow. And then people want to call me an Elohim, a god, goddess, or an angel, a 3, which would be an L. I got my last name's got an EL, and my middle name's got an EL to it as well. Joel, the 2, Joseph and Elohim, the covenant that David had with both Yah and El. We're looking at the time of Noah, and it being now fire, and you go read those stories, and it says that in one of I don't remember which chapter it is because there's different stories, creation stories in there. Yet it all plays out in different ways because people write things down and vibration is real. Okay, and that's just another story, and I've taught about a lot of that. But the point I'm trying to make is because people wrote things down and how it plays out in those stories, it says that when they got into the boat, I think it says Elohim got in there and Noah got in there and Yah shut the door. They both were in the boat. Both parties were in the boat. And then the lineage that come out of that is in the earth to be teachers and has that covenant. Prophesying. The sons and the daughters prophesying. Old men having dreams. Wars taking place because there really were giants in the land, and now there's awakening and spirits coming out of that water that I've talked about. And subconsciously, because people have opened themselves up, they are the giants now within spiritually. Spiritually, it's playing out. People are having an awakening to what's really happening. Anyway, I just want to share that. Joel. Joseph and Elohim. Joel. I'm worthy of acceptance. And so is anyone who wants to be in the upright and be grafted into the family. Because I am part of a family. You can never take my family away. The Creator has His eye upon me. I'm His daughter. And He had me go through this hardship for a reason. Had you go through it for a reason. Have you become a watcher? Do you want that kind of stuff to come back around on you because all you do is be a watcher? We know about the watchers. Anyway, this stuff, if I get more, I'll come back on here and talk about it as always. But I wanted to share that. Anyway, shalom.